Hi everybody, welcome to update number 4 on the Magic Skoolie. As you can see, it looks almost no different than the last update because most of the work that we've done has been underneath the bus. But trust me, it has been an enormous effort to get it to where we have it now, which is pretty darn close to mechanically roadworthy. Still a little bit more tuning to go. And the reason that this video comes to you so late at night, it's dark out, so unfortunately I didn't have time to do it today, is because tomorrow at 7 a.m. bright and early the bus is getting shipped off to the paint shop. So it will look, I promise, much better in the next video than it does now, because it'll have a nice shiny paint job, and that'll be the first visual progress that we get on the bus. So it's all getting very exciting, and the last 3 months or so of work is really feels like it's finally paid off. So I'll give you a walk around. Again, the lighting isn't great, so I don't know how much you'll be able to see, but just to give you an idea of what we've been working on. Okay, so we're going to get started with the walk around. Unfortunately, I don't have my faithful cameraman with me during this, so I'll just have to hold the camera while I talk. But anyhow, we'll start at the back of the bus and move our way to the front. So on the back here, we changed the rear end fluid as well as the seals. But even bigger than that, we upgraded the brakes. We put new pads on. You actually can't buy brand new brake shoes for this model anymore, but we were able to get the shoes relined. And even better than that, though, we were able to upgrade the braking system from the older system from the 1960s up to what's called maxi brakes, which is a great system for parking brakes, and it's going to be much safer for the road. So we've upgraded that, brand new brake shoes, and we've done the rear seals and the outer seals, and it should be all set to go. And moving our way forward, underneath the bus, there is a very, very long drive line, which includes no less than 5 U-joints and 3 carrier bearings, all of which are brand new. And moving on forward, transmission seemed to be okay, so we didn't really do anything in that area. We may do a clutch adjustment when we start driving a little bit more. Then moving on to the front axle, again we relined the brake shoes on it and did new seals, inner and outer. Here's where we ran into a problem. I was able to get seals for the rear axle, but the front axle proved to be a bit of an issue, and you aren't able to get the seals that originally came on this, and so I had to go and cross-reference a different seal that was able to work, and didn't quite fit exactly the same, but time will tell if those work. I think they should be okay. And then the big work came underneath the hood, and unfortunately it's dark right now, so we can't really see what has happened under there. I'll film that in future videos when there's better lighting, but I can still talk you through it. We cleaned up the engine bay, and that doesn't sound like a lot, but it's really important to have a clean engine bay so you can detect leaks. It's much easier for maintenance when you don't have crud falling in places where it shouldn't be, and I think it's just a better way to operate. So we went ahead, painted things like the valve cover, the top of the motor, took individual pieces off, and it is very sanitary now. It's a place you want to work. So that took quite a bit of time to do. We have a refurbished cooling system. The radiator was on its last leg when we took it out, and so we had that taken apart and re-cored. So that should be great for another 50 years or so with good maintenance. Water pump, we had a bit of a debacle there. We ordered a new water pump with a fancy impeller in it, and I'm sure it would have worked great had it fit, but it didn't. So we referred back to the original General Motors, original equipment water pump. We put it back in, and hopefully it's okay. Didn't seem like it had any problems. And we just finished flushing it outside tonight in preparation for it going to the paint shop. All new belts and hoses, and several seals replaced. The carburetor was rebuilt. Still needs a little bit more tuning done to it. And then another big item on the list was the power steering system. And it was actually working fine when we drove the bus home, but it was leaking like a sieve, so we had to take it completely apart and rebuild it. And I actually didn't do that. I sent it off to a company that specializes in it. They did a great job. They rebuilt the steering ram and the pump as well as the steering box, and I had new hoses made up, and so it's all fresh and ready to go, and it shouldn't leak anymore. And yeah, like I said, brand new belts, hoses, and seals, and anything else that needs to be gone through after this many years. Made a brand new battery tray from scratch, hold it snug. So yeah, that's, and this was a big frustration to go through all this mechanical work, because I think everybody on their Skoolie just wants to get going building on the inside, because that's, I think, where the fun part is. And just to spend 3 whole months on this mechanical work really took a lot out of me. But now it's mostly done, and we should be good to go. And most importantly, the bus should be safe and reliable. When you're dealing with vehicles this big, you don't just think about yourself on the road, think about all the other people on the road. And it's really important to have these old buses kept up to date on the maintenance, to make sure that you're safe as well as other people. Okay, and I'll take a moment now to just talk about what it's been like to work on this project, because as I mentioned, there's been a lot of frustrations, and so we'll talk about that. Okay, so you join me inside the bus, which is looking a little bare. We've stripped it for painting. As you can see, all of the windows and the interior panels, the interior lights, the speakers, everything has been taken off, and it's just about ready for paint. We've put in our new floor, which is great. It's a lot easier to see the vision when you have something to step on. So anyhow, I just wanted to take a moment to talk about some of the difficulties endured on the project thus far. The mechanical work was really unlike any project I've worked on. I've really struggled with parts availability, and everything is available for this bus. It was just a matter of finding the right parts for this particular model. And I've spent several nights looking for parts, and I feel like that's finally tapering off, and I'm not having to spend my evenings doing that anymore. And getting parts that don't fit, like the water pump, just major frustrations and huge setbacks. Having to have things like the brake shoes sent out to be realigned, and the power steering system. Half this bus was spread across California, getting rebuilt to different places. So and there were some really slow times where it was difficult to see the light at the end of the tunnel. And I think the light at the end of the tunnel finally came when we finally got the wheels back on. It was up on blocks for just months and months, and finally got the wheels on, rolled it outside, and just felt a big relief. So we're getting there. It's slow going, I guess fast in comparison to some other builds, because I am able to spend quite a bit of time on it. But yeah, it's getting there, and we're going to go to paint, and it's getting exciting. So In terms of paint colors, I won't reveal what the paint scheme will be, but I can promise you it won't be grayish. That's not a color. You know, those home renovation shows will make you believe that it is a color. It's not. So I promise you it will be much more exciting than that. And anyways, I hope you all like it. I spent several weeks finding a scheme that I liked and then picking out the colors to go with that. And thank you to everybody who contributed to finding that scheme and whatnot. So anyways, next time we have a video for you. Hopefully it'll be of better quality. Again, I apologize, this was kind of last minute. It's getting ready to go out tomorrow morning, so I wanted to get one video in before we got painted. You know, we're done with stage 3 now, which is mechanical work, and it feels really good. So we'll get it back from paint. We'll start putting windows back in and start building out the inside. So it's getting there. It's getting there. So anyways, thank you for everybody's support and kind encouragement. Really appreciate it. It really helps, and I hope you all can see it when it's done. All right, stay safe everybody. Good night.